appreciate you being here. We'll go to public forum, and then public forum, the team are here in regard to item 7.12, which is Arangi Park Sports Stadium's option. So we'll then bring that to the top of the agenda after we've gone through urgent business, minor nature and conflicts. So we'll kick into public forum, and we've got from various sports. I'd like to welcome up Karen, Abby, Peter, Sean and Angela. Come on up. And Angela's online. Perfect. Thank you. So take the seats. And so probably, 10 minutes is probably enough time for all of you. Go for it, and then we'll see if there's any questions at the end. And please feel free to stay for the agenda items. Who wants to lead off? Karen? Sean? Oh, just push that button.
Oh, thanks, Phil. Kia ora, my name's Abby. I am the President and Chairperson for South Canterbury Basketball. And 2.5 years ago, I had the privilege to present to Council with facts and figures petitioning on the long-term plan for the inclusion and fast track of the Arangi Park development. I presented facts and figures with growth in our competitions from 2010 to 2020, a growth of 52%. From 1,790 players in 2010 to 2,720 players in 2020. This year we sit at 2,890 active players across our competitions from year 3 and 4 up to adult. From 2020 to 2023, the last 3 years, we've experienced another 14% of growth in our intermediate competition, which is year 7 and 8, from 37 teams in 2010 to 64 teams in 23. These games continue to run late into the evening with shortened playing times to accommodate our growth. We're not in the business of turning away our rangatahi from playing sport and opportunities, so we've had to adapt the way we approach our sport. Normally, it's a 20-minute each way playing experience. We're offering 12 minutes each way in Timaru for our rangatahi, and for us, it's our only way forward. We've experienced 16% growth in our secondary schools competition also, from 60 teams in 2010, 67 teams in 2020, and 78 teams this year. When statistics tell us that teenage participation in sport is trending backwards, South Canterbury is bucking that trend, especially for basketball. As a region, we're home to 1.27% of the national population of secondary school students, but basketball represents 3.07% of the secondary school's player base. Our sport is performing above the national average and continues to grow. Ultimately, my message today is a positive one, of a sport that continues to experience growth despite the constraints of our available facilities. In 2021, with my facts and figures that I presented to the Council, we talked about our creative approach to using existing facilities. On a Friday night, we utilised 5 courts, Southern Trust Event Centre, Roncalli College and Craighead, with our 78 teams playing across those 5 courts. It's the only way. We're as creative as we can be. We're bursting at the seams, and we just want to keep growing. We want to keep giving these opportunities to our rangatahi. So we're beyond capacity now. We're fully in favour of the time frame that's been presented. We're fully in favour of the options that have been presented. We are keen. We are ready to get into stakeholder participation, fundraising. You tell us what we can do to make the next steps happen. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Peter State. I'm the President of South Canterbury Hockey South Canterbury. I'm also representing the South Canterbury Hockey Turf Trust, who unfortunately the members couldn't be here today. They are the owners of the 2 turfs and all the facilities up there. Hockey South Canterbury operates and manages the sport. We're very much in support of the development of the stadium. Although, depending on what option is chosen, we're not directly impacted by it. We have been impacted by the time it's taken to actually make a decision on it. We have 2 turfs. operating. One of them is suboptimal now, to the point that it's been stretched probably 18 months, 2 years beyond its use-by date. It's becoming a health and safety issue if it's neglected, but the Hockey Turf Trust is unable to commit to replacing it because one of the plans indicated that the stadium could come out over the turf, so there would just be sunk money. So what we're looking for ideally is when a decision's made, essentially a formal go-ahead so the Hockey Turf Trust can start and the community can start fundraising, and they have money set aside to replace the turf this in the next winter, after the next winter. So it's something that we are very keen to get sorted in that respect. As far as hockey's involvement up there go, we have about 1,200 players, of which 781 are primary. If you go up there on a Tuesday night or a Friday night, it's just swarming with children. To give you some idea of the participation numbers in our area, Canterbury have 1,900 primary players. We have 700, nearly 800. Otago only have 700 primary players, and we've got far more than them. And even places like North Harbour or Auckland, they're barely into the 2000s. So we really outperform other areas because it's a well-run development program, but we just need the certainty of having good playing services. Also, we do have our own facilities up there, and we lease council facilities. So when, assuming the main stadium is demolished, we'll lose our lounge, we'll lose some offices, we'll lose some toilets, and also the stadium, which is actually a boundary fence for one of our turfs. So we've got a 3/4 of a fence down as well. So we'll be looking for assistance from the council, if able, for facilities. But as a sport, the sport is pretty much self-funded. They've raised money over the years, many generations of hockey players for the turfs, and so we are very much an interested party, and we'd just like to see the project proceed.
Awesome, thanks, Peter. We'll go to Karen and Sean, and then did Angela want to jump in at the same time, Karen, with netball, or?
Yep. Yep. I'm just going to pass it over
Okay.
to Ange from
Yep.
Netball South Canterbury.
Perfect. Welcome, Ange.
Hi, I'm Ange Carver and I'm a board member of South Canterbury. Just here support, sorry, I've got really background noise. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, that's all good. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'm just here in support of the development of our park. South Canterbury continues to experience growth, and that's contrary to other areas in New Zealand. We've also got room for other program delivery facilities, such as walking netball, but this will be better delivered in an indoor space. We've struggled to get space within the current stadium, and we've only been given competition access during 2023 for our regular year grade competitions. And this has been due to capacity and resourcing of the stadium. We're finding with current societal needs, a lot of people work weekends, so we'd love to be able to offer netball opportunities during the week in indoor space, especially for our secondary school age group. That's probably the one area we lose players because they go on to work and the opportunity in the weekend. So if we could offer sport during the week in indoor space, that would be great. In terms of future large-scale events, South Island national events like South Island Secondary School Netball, they're likely to be on providing the purpose indoor space that ensures strong competitions can be delivered. South Canterbury needs space to compete with other larger areas. Netball is a grassroots sport in New Zealand, and it's important that all children get the opportunity to play it. And we need to be work with other sports, which we currently struggle to do. Netball South Canterbury and our netball will be hugely impacted by the development of Harris Park. And so our board already begun discussing plans for the delivery of 2025 if we're unable to use sports. Therefore, a timely decision and plan on the way is extremely important for us. We're also setting resources to support the development, which we strongly believe will future-proof sport in Canterbury for generations to come. That was all. Thanks.
Awesome, thanks. I think we got the most of that. It was sort of capacity, events, development opportunities being missed, still good growth in numbers, and I think the last thing was around that year. Was that correct? Yeah, so I think, yeah, sorry, Andrew, the connection just isn't perfect with some internet issues, but I think we got the gist of that. I'll pass to Sean and Karen.
Yeah, kia ora. I guess, first of all, it's been a couple of years of conversation, so really keen for some positive decisions to be made to enable groups, not just involved in the stadium, but I think it's really important to remember it as a whole park program or project, so it has decisions on other users of the park as well, so we're really keen to get that decision so people can move forward. But really wanted to just quickly touch on the people, not just here, but in the background working on this and the time that they've given and the commitment they've already shown, because 2 years ago I've talked about them being here and presenting to you, but it's the same lot of people that are there showing they're passionate, they're dedicated, and they're really committed to the project to ensure it happening. And I guess I've been around a little bit now and I've seen a few projects come and go, but the real difference is that the people that make it happen, and it's the people and their passion. So I think at the moment the time is right because we've got a group of volunteers who are really, really keen to see this happen, and it will be them that get it over the line regardless. So I think now is the right time and we've got the right group of people. In general as well, sport and physical activity is going pretty well. We've obviously had the post-COVID recovery and we're tracking along. There's other users of the facility such as futsal and volleyball who have got really impressive increasing numbers in our community, as well as new opportunities starting to venture in like pickleball and floorball and things like that. Sport Canterbury, we're currently doing a whole heap of work with badminton because we think there's a big potential there with that sport as well to grow. We talk a lot about the rangatahi in our region. We've got around 60% of secondary school students involved in sport in some way regularly. So that's around third highest in the country and well above the national average for participation from through school sport. I think as well as the facility build or the decision that's made around the stadium, I'm really keen to endorse the council to trial some new operation of the facility pretty much straight away, see how that works, give things a go and see what might work best if we do go down the path of something new. At the moment the facility is essentially locked unless it's booked. I'm really supportive of opening the doors more, allowing people and young people in particular to drop in and just pay $2 or $3 to shoot some hoops, to the point where through school holidays, essentially from the 8th of January, I'm happy to donate the Sport Canterbury staff to man the doors. People can come and knock on our door, we'll collect the $3 or whatever it is for you. You just promote the opportunity to young people and they can come in and shoot some hoops, and we'll make sure they've got a basketball to shoot and get things done. But we're happy to take care of that from 9 till 5 through the holidays and things. But would encourage you to think of ways to man the weekends to make it happen as well. I've talked to the Selwyn District Council around what they do, and they turn over close to $30,000 a year having those doors open for people just to drop in and play. I think there's an opportunity to actually go further with that. Open the changing rooms, open the toilets when hockey's on. Those sort of things should be open for them to come in and use as well. Times have changed. Young people aren't really that keen to just get changed on the side of the court or in the toilets. There's changing rooms there, but they're an additional cost to the users providing the sport. I think we should just open the doors, make it really accessible and a really welcoming environment. So yeah, I guess the challenge there is just to let's look at the park as a user, but then look at new ways from the new year to activate it even more. Thanks.
Awesome, thanks, Sean. Karen, you're all good? All covered as far as netball? Fantastic. Any questions for the team, taking into account that we will be discussing this shortly? That's a yes. Councillor Booth, go for it.
You gave us some numbers, that 2,890 basketball players and 1,200 hockey players, so this is for South Canterbury, is it? And what about netball players? How many netball players have you got going?
We have about 1,700. That's the age of 5, right, including senior women.
So on a weekly basis, how many kids have you got going through the facility up there, including basketball, for all the sports?
For netball, currently in the stadium, we only have our Premier grade, which is 18 teams, and the remainder of our sport is played outdoors on a Tuesday evening, Friday evening or Saturday. So currently we have 170 teams across all formats of our competition. And of course that fluctuates from year to year depending on whether there's growth in juniors or whether there's growth in our secondary school.
I think, Ellen, we did the sums as a group, and there's about 6,000 users a week, including futsal, badminton and other things. And granted, some kids play basketball and netball, but they come twice.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find out. Thank you.
Brilliant. That's it, team. Awesome. Thanks. Really appreciate you making the time and coming along. And we know your passion for your respective sports, so we appreciate that. So we'll just grab a seat because we'll bring it to the front of the agenda and we'll be discussing it shortly.